It's Christmas time again. Christmas has always been one of my favorite holidays, not only because of the presents, but just because of the vibe. The wearing of fun sweaters, being able to wear jackets and pants and big boots and stuff and not melt into a puddle, ironically enough. But one of the big parts of this holiday season is buying presents. And there's always been a long-standing tradition of making a holiday buyer's guide. And so I thought for today we'd be looking at some Christmas deals. So just to jump in with, the first thing we're going to be talking about is Nintendo's offering some pretty sick bundles this year. In the past, they haven't really done anything other than Mario Kart bundles, and it wasn't really even that good of a deal because it would just increase the price of the Switch from $300 to $350 back in before the OLED days, and maybe that would just be the cost of having the game included. Now it's actually a pretty good deal. You can get the original Switch with Mario Kart for exactly the same price with 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online included. So you get all that for $300, though it's not cheaper than a normal Switch. But you do get included Mario Kart 8 and 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online, which is a tremendous value. The funnest and most popular game on the Switch, paired with getting 3 months of NSO, boom, right there you get a shit ton, just a crap load of vintage classic Nintendo games, spanning from the NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, I believe now, and even N64 and stuff. Sega Genesis if you want, I guess. They're even doing a bundle for the Nintendo Switch Lite that includes Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and there's 2 bundles for that. One in a limited edition, Isabella Aloha edition. It's like just a pink color with a bunch of decals on the back, and then they're doing a blue version themed around Tom Nook for the boys. They're releasing a new version of the OLED Nintendo Switch called the Mario Red Edition, much like how they did back a few years ago with the original Switch. It's not too dissimilar. It's just the normal OLED Switch, just with a red dock and controllers. But it is very pretty. It's a very nice red. And they're also doing a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate bundle. This is personally my favorite bundle, mostly because I just really like Smash Brothers. And they're also including the Nintendo's Switch Online 3-month, membership thing with this one too. And so you can play online and have access to all those fun retro games. And I think this one, if you're buying for like a teenager, this might be the way to go. And it's just a tremendous value, and it's a very fun game. And it's with limited edition controllers and everything. This is on sale now for $350. The last bundle Nintendo themselves are doing is a Mario Party plus, Joy-Con bundle. They do these very rarely, but you can in this bundle you get Super Mario Party rather, and 2 Joy-Cons, red and blue Joy-Cons. They're very nice colors, and it's going for $100, which isn't the best value, but it's still pretty nice if you want to get them something a little bit more than just either a controller or just a game. You can get them both controller and a game. Whoa! This section might sound like hard chilling for a specific company, but I swear to you, they just make a very good product in that I have trusted and used this company's products for many years. The next product we're talking about is the 8BitDo line of controllers. They make fantastic controllers. My favorite controller personally has been the 8BitDo Ultimate controller. You can get them and it pairs with all sorts of consoles. You can pair them with the Xbox, PC, Switch, everything. And right now you can get the Ultimate C controller at Bluetooth, and it's specifically for the Nintendo Switch for $30. It has all the features of the Pro Controller, even has motion controls, rumble, and it's $30. It's a tremendous value. This is one of the best controllers from third parties. Frankly, I like it more than my Pro Controller that I have. It's just the stick gates, the actual analog sticks themselves, the buttons, they just feel fantastic, and being able to use it both on my PC and on my Switch is amazing. Being able to switch between the two just increases its versatility. I have multiple different setups, so it's a great way to be able to transition between setups. Another one of their products that you might be interested in, if you're more of a classic, bit of a vintage arcade gamer, they have the 8BitDo Arcade Stick. It works on Switch, Windows, and has either a 2.4 gigahertz wireless receiver or a wired connection. Though this is a little bit more expensive, it's at $89, and it's just a very high quality arcade stick. I've seen these all over the place. I personally own one of these, and they're super fun. The buttons are fantastic. They're not Sanwas, but they're very close, and the just overall quality is tremendous. Having these remappable buttons with the Ultimate software, it's just so awesome to use, and I think this is a really fun accessory to include to get that little gamer in your life. The last controller we're going to be talking about is the 8BitDo SN30 Pro. This is a famous controller. We've been talking about it for years. This controller is styled off of the original Super Nintendo controller, sort of just reimagined. It comes in all sorts of colors, even transparent and see-through colors. Right now, it's the original gray edition is selling for $31 on Amazon, and it's honestly, I also own one of these. This is my favorite controller to take on the travel to go places. It's fantastic. It's super slim. It has all the buttons you need to play 3D platformers and 2D platformers. It is not the most comfortable thing in the world for 3D gaming, but for 2D platformers, playing a lot of NSO, 2D platformers, things of that nature, this is an incredibly comfortable controller for that. The buttons are fantastic. The connection is rock solid, and very few controllers can do this, but this controller can wake up the Switch. For some reason, not every controller can do that, and this one can, which is amazing. This last section are mostly nice to haves, They would make a fantastic gift, but they're not necessarily crucial for every person to own these kinds of things. And the first thing we're going to be talking about in this part is having a second dock. I know this might sound incredibly depressing, but as a child of divorce, having 2 Nintendo Switch docks was incredibly important for me for a while, because back when the Switch originally came out, I was so sad when I would go to my one of my other parents' house and not be able to dock my Switch. I would have to play in portable mode the whole time, and I would have to always unhook the charger. It was so annoying. It's super annoying to have a sort of a disjointed setup. I couldn't always enjoy my Switch to the fullest ability. And for Christmas one year, later that same year, I received a second dock and charger. It was amazing. I was able to now fully go between my 2 parents' households very smoothly in terms of, my gaming. And this is an awesome gift to get for those in your life who may not have, normal home situations, or those who just travel a lot, so they don't have to rip up their entire setup if they have to go somewhere. It's just a super convenient and very nice gift to give, and one of my favorite things to get for people who have similar life situations as I do. This next one isn't necessarily applicable to everyone either, but getting a battery bank for your Switch is just so nice. Because my Switch is now very old. I still use my launch Switch every day, and the battery on it is getting a little tired. So one of my gifts I got myself a few years ago was the Anker PowerCore 13400 watt Nintendo Switch battery bank. It's the official Nintendo Switch battery bank. It is so annoyingly expensive, and the only reason why I purchased this was because it's the official battery bank, and Nintendo has with the Switch, a very annoying history of weird power delivery shit, and this is officially Nintendo, sanctioned, this is the battery bank you should get for your Nintendo Switch kind of thing. And so I trust it. It hasn't failed me. It hasn't killed my Switch. I'm sure there are other battery banks you can use that are plenty safe to use. If I had to recommend alternative battery banks that may not necessarily be official Nintendo stuff, Anker does also have the Anker 20. It is a 100 milliamp hour portable battery bank. It has, fast charging, wireless charging, all sorts of things. And it has a USB PD port. So just make sure if you buy somebody a battery bank for the Nintendo Switch, make sure it's USB PD compliant or has a USB PD port or like a Power IQ port, because the Nintendo Switch just has really weird power delivery things if you're playing on it while charging at the same time. It's just a whole mess that I wanted to avoid. So if you want to avoid that too, there's the Anker PowerCore 13400. It also has a other larger capacity variant, but that's not currently available to my knowledge. So that's when it comes to battery banks. The last two items are relatively very cheap and just super easy and maybe stocking stuffers. No, everybody underestimates the value of a gift card. I love receiving Nintendo eShop points. It's just so nice being able to receive that and be able to pick out a game that I like, I know I would like, you know? It's just so nice, and trust me, those gamers out there you're, trying to buy something for will always appreciate a gift card rather than you having to guess on what game they may like. That is just so filled with so many risks of potential disappointment. It is just easier to get them a gift card. I love receiving gift cards, and I highly recommend them to most people. The last cheap thing, the very last item we're going to be discussing is microSD cards. The Nintendo Switch is having a massive library of games, and with the ever-increasing file size for these games, it is super important to have a large capacity microSD card for the Nintendo Switch. Some games could be upwards of 50 gigs in size, and mainly, some of these are mostly the third-party AAA big games, something like a Hogwarts Legacy or a Borderlands 3, though that last one isn't particularly large. And you can get many microSD cards at many different sizes and prices. Personally, I love the Team Group Go microSD cards just because they're such an amazing value. I was able to get a 1 terabyte microSD card from Team Group for around $54. An amazing price to capacity ratio. Though you might not need 1 terabyte worth of storage for all your games, you can easily find a SanDisk or Team Group 512 gigabyte microSD card for around $20 to $15, especially when they're on sale. I found so many microSD cards at that price, especially during this time of year when they're constantly going on sale. Another trusted brand I have is Samsung. They're great. SanDisk, Team Group, they're all fantastic brands. Some brands I've tried in the past was the Micro Center Inland brand microSD cards. They're not bad, but they're just cheap. So if you don't really care about, if this thing will last for a very long time, you can just buy a bunch of them so they could burn them away. That's obviously an option. There's a few other brands out there, but I don't buy a lot of microSD cards personally. But when I do, I go through mainly either SanDisk or Team Group because I use them a lot and they're good brands. And that's it. Hopefully this helps you find the perfect gift for your gamer out there. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all that other social media garbage down below, and become a member. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to have a wonderful day. See you later. Deuces.
So take care of everybody on your list. Make it a blockbuster holiday.
Blockbuster Video! Wow, what a difference!